Hey guys, welcome to my tutorial. In this video I gonna show you how to map a K2 controller with Traktor step by step. We're gonna build a basic function setup that you definitely need to run Traktor. In my last video I explained my DJ setup and showed you how I mapped the K2 controller, and in this video we're gonna make a whole mapping. So take you a drink, plug your K2 on your computer, start Traktor, and let's begin. But first things first, it's important that you set your latching layer mode off and put MIDI channel to channel 1 if you want. We need the K2 manual, and if you like this video, let's give a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and if you have questions, comment down below in the comment section or contact me on Instagram. So I would say, let's start the mapping. So we're going now to the setting, down to control manager, and we start with the two encoders below the K2. The left one has the function to scroll up and down through your playlist that you choose. The right one is for the playlist, and we're going step by step to the top, but let's start with the left one, with the left encoder. We're going now to the add-in, browser, list, select up and down, learn, turn the encoder, set the learn button off, go down to the type of controller and set to encoder. Then we go to the add-in, browse, tree, select up and down, learn, type of controller, encoder. Let's have a look. And we can see we can scroll through the playlist with the right one through to the playlist. So we go now up to the first row here. I use this row to load tracks in the decks. We're going now to the add-in, to track deck, load, loop and play. Duplicate it, going to the first one, learn, and push the buttons to learn the MIDI notes. Then we're going up to the first one and set the assignment. That means the decks that you want to control. In my case, I use not the classic order A, B, C and D. I use A, C, B and D. The reason is A and C are on the left, B and D are on the right. That's the way how I play. If you want to use the classic order, you have to change the assignment like you want. Let's have a test. We search tracks. It works. It works. It works. As you can see, everything works fine. Then we want play and pause. We use the second row for this function. Now we're going to the deck common, going to the play and pause, duplicate it, going to the first one and do the same thing. Learn the MIDI notes, then going back to the first one, set the assignment, and then you have here type of controller button. It's right, interaction mode hold. That's not what we want. We want toggle it. That's the reason that you change the interaction mode from hold to toggle. And let's have a test. As you can see, it works. So now we want LED flash for play and pause. For load, loop and play I don't need it, but for play and pause I just want that when a track is running the LED flashes green. If the track are paused, I want that the LED flashes red. That means we're going to the first one, going to add out, then play and pause, deck common, duplicate, deck C, add out, play pause, duplicate, and so on. Now we're going to the manual. Let's have a check. We are here. The first one, the E1, that's the basic function, the basic MIDI note when you push the button and learn it. But we want the green LED flashes too, and that's the reason we need the E7. And we're going to this one and choose E7 F7 F7 and G7. Now we have green and red, but we need the next one, the send monitor state, duplicate, learn 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we start going back to the first one and set here the modifier deck play A. The first one, the E1, it's the basic one, it's the red LED flash that has to be off, deck play deck A off, and set the invert button in the LED options. Then we go down to the E7, set the deck play A and set the value on. Next one, it's the same. Modifier C off, deck play C, value on. So let's test it, how it works, if it works. Yes, as you can see, it works. Now we're going to the third row. This row I use it for the sync on. Then all tracks, I play up to 4 decks and all tracks have to be synced. That means we're going to the add-in, deck common, sync on, duplicate, learn and set the MIDI nodes, device target A, interaction mode, toggle, and the same here. Now I want this with a green LED flash. That means you choose the first one, add out, sync on, add out, sync on. Then we go check which LED flash we need. It's here, G7, A7, A7, B7. Channel 1. Node. Let's have a check. As you can see here, sync is now on. Perfect. In the fourth row, I configure for myself the button to delete the loop. We're going to the deck command, to the first one, loop active on, duplicate, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the same, we're going back to the first one, toggle, assignment, interaction mode, from hold to toggle, set the deck. Alright, I want for this orange LED flash, that means loop active on. Let's check. C5, DF, okay. C5. Mistake. Yes, that's the right one. All right. As you can see, LED flashes orange. So now we're going to the top, to the first row, of this encoder here. This encoder, we use it for the loop functions. Now we set the same thing, loop active on, duplicate, learn, push the encoder, same thing here, toggle from also interaction mode from hold to toggle. And then we need this function loop size select and set, duplicate, same thing, and then you're going to the first one from loop size and select, that means stack A. Then you go to the type of controller, set button direct, and this option button options set value to 4 bar, or what you want. I use the standard of 4 bar. The same direct 4 bar, button direct, button options set value to 4 bar. Let's have a check if it works. First of all, let's deactivate the loop and then reset the loop, and it works. No problem. For this row, I want LED flash 2 in green. Now we're going back to the first loop active on for this row and going to add out, loop active on, same way, loop active on, and look what we need, E9, F9 here on page 14. E9, F9. G9, and as you can see, the LED flash are green. That means the loop is activated. Let's have a check. Activate, 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 activate. It works well, perfect. Now we want to length and short the loop. Then we're going here to deck command loop size selector, duplicate, learn. Now you turn the encoder 1, 2, 3, and 4. Going back to the first one, it's the encoder, device target A, type of controller is encoder, C, encoder, B, encoder, D. Let's have a check. As you can see, you can length and short the loop, and it works well, perfect. So we want now another loop function, and that's the move function, that you can move the loop through the deck. We use also the same encoder to set the loop, length the loop, short the loop, but we have now to configure a modifier button, a second layer in this case, and we use this button here to configure the second layer. You go to the add-in, go down to the modifier, set it, duplicate, and set the add out for the LED flash. Going back to the first, learn, push the button. Also for the LED flash, I use in this case the red one. Going back to the first one, set the button type of controller to button, interaction mode of direct, and set value 1 in this case. Then going to the second one, make the same, but you don't set the value. You're going to the modifier conditions, set modifier, going to the M1 and set value 1. That means the condition 1 here, set the M1 1 means that when you push the button, you are now in a modifier mode. In my case, we are now in the second layer. So we need now the move button here, the move function, duplicate, learn, going back to the first one, to the first row, and turn it. Not pushing, don't push. You have to turn the encoder because you want move the loop. Then going back to the first one, set the assignment step by step. Going back to the first one and set type of controller to encoder. And then you have to set another function, that is the mode selector, deck common move mode selector. Duplicate, and same thing, turn the encoder. Device A, C, B, D. Then type of controller, button, interaction mode direct, button options, set value loop, because you don't want to make a beat jump, you only want to move the loop, and do all the same into another decks. Type of controller, button, interaction mode direct, set value from beat jump to loop. Now we have here to configure move value modifier M1 to 1. M1 1. Mode selector, also the mode selector. Oops. And then you're going up to the loop selector and set the same modifier but the value to 0. You have only choose the modifier, value is automatically on 0. That means if the modifier is on, the loop length and shorter loop is now deactivate. Let's test, let me check that I have everything okay, everything is right. I think so. Let's check. So now, as you can see, we can lengthen the loop, short the loop. And now we activate the modifier and we can scroll through the track, as you can see. It works very well. Very, very nice. So up to this function here, we have now the basic functions to run Traktor. That means we have load the track in the deck, play pause, sync on, delayed loop, activate loop, lengthen loop, short the loop, move the loop, scroll down through your playlist, scroll down to your playlist, and the rest of it, that is your decision. What do you want to make? There are people out there that use the K2 controller as a mixer, and you can use this knobs here and this section here for your mixer section, volume, equalizer and all that stuff. But in this case, in my case, I show you how to set up the effect sections, and you can choose whatever you want, but in this case I show you the effect section because many people use many effects and I think it makes sense to explain that. First things first, we start with the main effect section here in Traktor on the top, and we start on the first row here. I hope you can see it. Yes, you can see it. And now we start to add in, going down to the FX unit, set the dry wet, duplicate, learn, and use the fader for the dry wet function. Then going back to the first one, everything's fine. We're going to the second one, FX unit 3, FX unit 2, FX unit 4. It's the same way, the same order like the deck order. That means you have deck 1 and 3 for deck A and C, deck 2 and 4 for deck B and D. Oh, yes, so it's better. Let's have a check. Yes, as you can see here on the effect section up there, the dry wet function works well. Now we're going back to the FX unit and use the effect 1 selector, duplicate, learn, and then we use the knobs here, turn, 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 turn. Same thing, going back to the second one, use the FX unit that you need, that you want. And let's have a check, then we can choose different effects. And yes, as you can see here, I can choose different effects. I have not many effects, I don't use it too much, but if you want a selection of effects, you're going to the settings, up to the effects here, and you have a lot of effects here in Traktor. And if you want to add some effects, you can add it here to this pre-select effects. Okay. Yes. So, but as you can see, I have here my few effect selection. So with these buttons here, I want to configure the on and off mode of the effect section. That means we're going back to the FX unit, unit on, duplicate, then push the buttons, going back to the first one. Here to the type of controller button, interaction mode hold. That's not what we want. We want toggle. Going to the second one, toggle FX unit 3, toggle FX unit 2 and 4. And then going back to the first one, add out unit for the LED flash. I think I use for this the orange LED flash. Going back to the manual, look what we need for MIDI node C6. D6 and the last one. Let's have a check, but you also can see that the LED flashes orange are on, and you can deactivate the FX. Very, very nice. We're going down to the second button row here, and we add the beat phase. The beat phase function. We're going out to the add out, to the deck command, down to beat phase. Here's important that you're going down to the LED options, control range, and set the value to minus 0.1, also on the max, and duplicate it, learn, set the value at a MIDI node, set device target, the assignment, it has no function, but it looks cool. Let's have a check. Yes, as you can see, the LED flashes in always in sync. They are always in sync because Traktor is sync, as you can see here. But I think it looks cool. Now we come to the last one. It is the mixer effect section. It is an effect section here in the middle. Important is for all this effect section that you set the values here to the separate decks. That mean 1, 2, 3 and 4 to configure the effect sections. And we start to going here to the mixer section, and then we going to the first one, mixer effect selector, duplicate, learn and turn the knobs. Then set the assignment. Let's test. And as you can see, we can choose different effect of the mixer effect. Now we want high and low pass, and we're going down to the mixer effect adjust, duplicate, learn and use this one, this one, this one, this one. Going back to the first one, set the assignment. Let's have a check. And as you can see, you can set the high and low pass of the tracks. That means that these buttons here have always up to the middle, and you can choose the low and high pass. Alright, to the last one, go back to the mixer, and we choose the mixer effect on, duplicate, learn and set the MIDI notes, the buttons. We're going first one to interaction mode, same toggle, not hold, A, interaction mode, toggle, C. D. And we want LED flash to see if the effect section are activated or not. I think I take the green LED flash, and I need here E8. Let's go back to channel 1, note E8, F8. Let's have a check. Yes, as you can see, the effect section are activate. So that's it. That was the mapping. Now you have the absolute standard basic functions to control Traktor. As I said before, if you want to use the K2 controller as a mixer, you have to do another things, but I think for the first it's okay to learn the basic stuff and then you can learn another things. But with this mapping you can start right now to play with Traktor. And I hope it helped you to understand the mapping a little bit. For me it took many days to understand and learn it. And on YouTube there is not so much videos who explain that in detail. And yeah, I hope it helps you. If you have questions, comment down below in the comment section or contact me on Instagram. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, thank you for watching and we see us in the next techno session. Bye.